Introduced back in 2006 as a 2007 model, Yamaha's Grizzly 700 hit the market as the first ATV offering power steering. Since then, it's won a ton of big war shootouts and has set the standard for its class in many ways. Last year, we tested the Grizzly 550. We were blown away by what a capable all-around machine the 550 was, especially when it came to having fun out on the trail. The Grizzly 550 was based on its virtually identical, slightly older sibling, the Grizzly 700. The only real difference between the two machines is a bit more displacement and power for the 700. We loved the sporty nimble handling of the 550 and knew that more power would only up the fun factor. So we decided to grab a 2011 Grizzly 700 to review what makes this ATV so popular with so many riders. The Grizzly 700's engine shares much of its design and technology with Yamaha's phenomenal Raptor 700 Sport ATV. The 700's engine displaces 686 cc's and features a 4-valve single overhead cam design. A ceramic-lined cylinder, forged piston, and chromoly connecting rod work together to reduce weight and heat while maximizing durability. A Mikuni fuel injection system regulates the air-fuel mixture, which is fed to the engine by a 44mm throttle body. Push-button electric starting brings the engine to life. The Grizzly's fully automatic transmission features both high and low ranges plus neutral reverse and park, selected by a compact gated shifter. The CVT transmission features an automatic centrifugal clutch, which maintains constant belt tension for reduced belt wear. Additionally, the drive side case is sealed to keep out water and debris. Yamaha's Electro-Servo activated on-command 4-wheel drive system allows you to choose between 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, and 4-wheel drive with front differential lock. The Grizzly features the most slick operating drive selector switch on the market, looking and functioning something like out of a fighter jet. A tubular steel frame mates up to dual A-arms at both ends. Yamaha's wide arc A-arms provide maximum ground clearance over a wider area, with the undercarriage featuring a very healthy 11.8 inches of ground clearance. At 46.5 inches wide, the Grizzly's width is typical of its class. However, its wheelbase is 1 to 2 inches shorter than most at 49.2 inches. 5-way preload adjustable shocks at all 4 corners provide some tunability. Suspension travel numbers are very respectable, with 7.1 inches up front and a lengthy 9.5 inches out back. Yamaha was the first ATV manufacturer to bless enthusiasts with the easy steering and reduction in steering feedback provided by electric power steering. Yamaha's system measures vehicle speed and torque applied to the steering through the handlebars and impacts with the front wheels, helping to optimize the EPS's effectiveness. As speeds increase, the power steering's assistance decreases, preventing the twitchy feeling found with some other systems. To maximize the feeling of the Grizzly's lightweight, Yamaha paid a lot of attention to mass centralization, moving as much weight as possible to the center of the machine. The cylinder was tilted forward 35 degrees, allowing for a higher ground clearance and lower seat height of 35.6 inches. To further help lower the machine's center of gravity, the 5.3-gallon fuel tank was located under the seat, although filling takes place under a flip-up panel in front of the seat where you would expect the fuel tank to be. Independently operated hydraulic disc brakes slow the 700 and are operated by handlebar-mounted levers and a right-side mounted foot pedal. Assisting the brakes is an engine braking system, which provides 4-wheel braking when 4-wheel drive is engaged. The 700 steel racks are coated with a wrinkle paint finish and feature 99 pounds of capacity up front and 187 pounds in the rear. The Grizzly can tow an additional 1,300 pounds with its center-mounted trailer hitch. There's enough dry storage for a few pairs of goggles, gloves, or a rain parka available in the right front fender storage compartment. 25-812 front and 25-1012 rear Dunlop tires are mounted on basic lightweight aluminum wheels, which are dressed up by Yamaha emblem center caps. The Grizzly's digital instrument display is one of our favorites. It's easy to read, and Yamaha was smart enough to mount it on the bodywork, not on the handlebars like so many others. We have spent the past few months putting several hundred miles on our Grizzly. It's been ridden at Wilderness Trail Off-Road Park in southeast Kentucky. We've taken it on several one-day rides and used it as a camera mule while testing other models. The The Grizzly starts reliably, regardless of temperature, thanks to its fuel injection. The engine warms up quickly and is ready to go, even in freezing temperatures. Power output alone does not define the Grizzly 700, although it does deliver adequate power for work applications or fast trail rides. It feels a lot like the Grizzly 550, producing smooth power throughout the RPM range. The only difference being that the 700 produces a bit more torque, most notably in the bottom end and lower mid-range part of the RPMs. There's plenty of power for steep climbs or to spin the stock tires in deep mud or out of corners, but it lacks the arm-stretching pull and excessive power of the big bore twin cylinders. CVT engagement is smooth with little lag. High range was ideal for all but the slowest of situations, and low range makes the Grizzly feel unstoppable while working or negotiating a tough climb. The Grizzly's drive system is near perfection. Two-wheel drive allows you to cruise along, breaking the rear wheels loose for slides on demand. Cruising slippery, unpredictable trails in four-wheel drive provides the security of additional traction, while having virtually no effect on steering effort. Of course, differential lock is available for the most demanding of situations. Obtaining full power with differential lock engaged requires you to push an override button located on the left side of the handlebars. We say ditch the rev limiter and override button altogether. Combine the Grizzly's engine and transmission with its lighted nipple chassis, and you wind up with one of the most fun to ride big bore 4x4s on the market. Yamaha's extensive mass centralization results in a light and nimble handling machine, both on the ground and even in the air. We have ridden some compact small bore 4x4s that feel significantly heavier than the 700. With good technique or a small bump in the trail, you can easily wheelie the Grizzly out of corners or over small logs. On climbs, the front end feels predictably planted, unless you find a sapling you'd rather leap over than crawl over. The Grizzly's sporty nimble handling carries into corners, steering quickly and precisely, pushing only a small amount when ridden hard. It exhibits some front and body roll if you drive too hard through turns. In spite of its high ground clearance and long travel IRS, the Grizzly is an easy and predictable power slider. Lean in, crack the throttle, and you can overcome the front end dive by freeing up the back end. There's no need to wait for Yamaha to release a big bore sport 4x4, because if they did, here's betting it would handle a lot like the Grizzly 700. When it comes to trail riding, Yamaha has, in our opinion, perhaps the best power steering unit on the market. It's so good because you never notice it. Steering effort is light, but not too light. Jarring impacts with trail obstacles aren't translated back to the handlebars, but you receive enough feedback that you don't feel disconnected from the trail. Power steering also reduces the machine's tendency to follow tire or water ruts, allowing you to more easily maintain line selection. As speeds increase, the EPS's effort decreases, preventing the steering from feeling twitchy at high speed. If we could ask for more from Yamaha's EPS, it would be for it to offer assistance while sitting still or crawling at a snail's pace for specific work applications, or help when you're hung up on a huge log. The suspension's action lends itself to the Grizzly's nimble, sporty handling. The shocks provide a firm yet never jarring ride over protruding rocks and roots. Square-edged hits from ruts and saplings are eaten up, and well-ended leaps are easily absorbed. Whoops can get a bit bouncy, but the lightness of the Grizzly allows you to hammer through more easily than on some of its more portly competitors. Overall, we found the front to be a bit softer than the rear, but adding a notch or two of preload to the front shocks helps. We don't need a shootout to tell you who has the best brakes in the big bore class. The Grizzlies offer power and feel on par with sport quad brakes. They are strong and silent in both wet and dry conditions. While the rear brakes may need maintenance more often than the sealed rear disc brakes found on other models, their light engagement and superb feel more than make up for it. Yamaha's engine braking system is extremely effective on downhills, allowing you to crawl down in low range. Four-wheel braking is a benefit on moderately steep, slippery descents. However, we would recommend disengaging four-wheel drive for the very steepest descents, where you might not want engine braking to the front wheels. Chopping the throttle at speed, the engine braking feels very similar to letting off the gas on a manual shift machine, with smooth, predictable deceleration. While it's hard to get excited about the Grizzly's wheel and tire package, it's hard to fault them. The Dunlops seem to work well in every situation. We felt they were in part responsible for the machine's good sliding characteristics. They could be perhaps to blame, though, for some of the front end body roll. Being light, the tires may not be the most puncture resistant, but we never flatten one. The wheels are kind of plain, but they are light, helping performance. The Grizzly's ergonomics are quite good. The relationship between the bar seat and floorboards with raised steel foot pegs is comfortable for casual or aggressive riding. The machine feels reasonably narrow between your legs, and its side panels provide a smooth contoured surface you can grip with your knees. The controls, levers, and grips are flawless. While the seat is plush, the transition between it and the bodywork in front of it is a bit abrupt. For utility purposes, tubular steel racks are the way to go. The front end of the machine is winch mount equipped, and the chassis does a good job of holding up to the weight of a plow, thanks to its adjustable front shocks. The Yamaha Grizzly 700 is a great machine for many riders. There are machines out there that do certain things better, but there are very few that do so many things so well. The Grizzly's overall package is tough to beat, and that's why it's won so many shootouts through the years. Sport 4x4 guys looking to modify the Grizzly will be pleased with the number of performance parts available from the aftermarket. If there is work to be done, the Grizzly is a hard worker that won't wear you out. There are other good 4x4 ATVs on the market that won't go down as one of the greatest ATVs of all time. The Grizzly 700 is a great one that will. For more information on the Grizzly 700 and Yamaha's full line of ATVs and side-by-sides, log on to yamaha-motor.com.